Top 6 actors James Coburn disliked the most. James Coburn was born James Harrison Coburn III on August 31st, 1928 in Laurel, Nebraska, a small Midwestern town where his childhood was defined by the principles of hard work, humility, and determination. His family had financial struggles during the Great Depression, which instilled in him a toughness and independence that would remain with him for the rest of his life. After his family had relocated to Compton, California, when he was young, Coburn had become intrigued with the cinema and storytelling. He went on to study acting and drama at Los Angeles City College, sharpening skills which would propel him into his legendary career in Hollywood. Coburn's journey to fame had not been an easy one. He served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War, an experience that instilled in him discipline and toughness, traits that would later become the gritty, stoic character types he seemed to become associated with on screen. Post his military service, he took up acting more earnestly, studying with some of the more prominent acting instructors and appearing in theater and minor television roles. His rough good looks, authoritative demeanor, and distinctive growly voice immediately set him apart from his contemporaries, and he was an obvious choice for action in Western movies. He came to international stardom in the 1960s as one of the most identifiable faces in Hollywood's action, spy thriller, and Western movies. Coburn broke through in The Magnificent Seven, 1960, when he was the knife-throwing gunslinger Brit, a performance that made him a rising star. He gained his reputation for effortless cool over the rest of the decade, being likened to Steve McQueen, whom he remained close friends with. Coburn continued to work on movies such as The Great Escape 1963, Our Man Flint 1966, and Like Flint 1967, in which he played a smooth James Bond-like spy. These roles cemented his status as one of the archetypal tough guys of his time, with a combination of charm, wit, and physicality that audiences adored. In contrast to his on-screen persona as a rugged man of action, Coburn was very thoughtful and artistic in real life. He ventured into a large variety of roles outside of action and adventure, doing dramas and comedies, and he never restricted himself into one typecast. His film career lasted over several decades, with notable features being collaborations with film directors like Sam Peckinpah and Pat Garrett, and Billy the Kid 1973 and Cross of Iron 1977. Coburn's acting technique was characterized by naturalistic authenticity. He never overacted and quite frequently employed the technique of silence, facial expression, and subtle movement to convey depth and emotion. In the late 1970s, James Coburn had a fiery and creatively fulfilling 4-year relationship with the gifted British singer-songwriter Lindsay DePaul. The bond between the pair was as much artistic as it was personal, since the couple worked together on music that left an enduring legacy on DePaul's career. They collaborated on some of the memorable tunes like Losing the Blues for You and the wonderfully titled Melancholy Melon, both of which made it onto her critically acclaimed album Tigers and Fireflies. This era represented another aspect of Coburn's many talents. In addition to his looming presence in front of the camera, he proved himself to have an affinity for musical partnership and lyricism, and a broad artistic sensitivity that many of his fans might be unaware of. Following this phase of musical experimentation and individual development, Coburn returned to cinema during the 1990s, reaffirming himself as a dominant force in both character and supporting parts. During this comeback, he starred in a string of diverse and big-budget movies that showcased his range, such as the Western action film Young Guns 2, the comedy action movie Hudson Hawk, and the inspirational sequel Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. He also contributed his skills to the slick, tongue-in-cheek Western Maverick, the action thriller Eraser, and the repulsario comedy The Nutty Professor. Coburn's commitment to his art peaked with his work as Glenn Whitehouse in Affliction, a performance so moving and powerful that it made him the recipient of the highly sought-after Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, solidifying his place as one of Hollywood's greatest character actors. As his career progressed, Coburn showed incredible versatility by adopting voice acting, a field in which he could infuse animation with his unmistakable gravitas. One of his last, greatest iconic performances was as the charming but ethically troubled Henry J., Water 3 in Pixar's seminal film Monsters, Incorporated, whose voice life breathed into a character that is still iconic to audiences of all ages. Through decades of acting, musical collaboration, and artistic exploration, James Coburn left an indelible mark on both the silver screen and beyond, proving himself a truly dynamic and enduring talent. James Coburn's personal life included two significant marriages that reflected different chapters of his life. His first marriage was to Beverly Kelly in 1959, a union that would last for 2 decades and produce 2 children. Throughout these 20 years, Coburn negotiated the tensions of juggling a flourishing Hollywood career and family life while upholding his image as a charming and versatile actor. Their marriage, much like that of many others in the harsh entertainment world, ultimately failed, and the couple divorced in 1979. Though their marriage ended, Coburn retained a dignity and respect for his ex-wife and the family they shared, placing great value on ongoing commitment to his children even in times of personal turmoil. Later in life, Coburn again fell in love and got married to actress Paula Murad on October 22, 1993. On a romantic Parisian holiday in Versailles, France. This union was a time of restored personal contentment and equilibrium for Coburn, who by this time had become a respected veteran film and television actor. Coburn and Mirage also shared a profound personal connection, as well as an interest in community service, reflected by the creation of the James and Paula Coburn Foundation. With this philanthropic organization, the couple aimed to fund causes that aligned with their values and interests to create a legacy that extended beyond Coburn's film achievements. Their union remained strong and unshakable until Coburn passed away in 2002, clearly exhibiting a partnership grounded in respect, love, and common purpose. Despite the debilitating effects of Coburn's severe rheumatoid arthritis, a disease which filled his life with chronic pain and restricted mobility, he kept pursuing his interests with fortitude and bravery. He became a dedicated student of martial arts, adopting the discipline and philosophy it provided. Through his pursuit of martial arts, he befriended the legendary Bruce Lee, one of the greatest martial artists the world has ever known. Their camaraderie was not superficial. It was characterized by respect for one another, mutual interest in body and mind discipline, and an understanding of the other's commitment to his work. When Bruce Lee died suddenly at the peak of his success, Coburn paid a last tribute to his friend by acting as one of the pallbearers at Lee's funeral on July 25, 1973. This act highlighted the strength of their friendship and Coburn's devotion to people he cared about, projecting a side of the actor that was thoughtful, respectful, and dedicated to the individuals who counted in his life. James Coburn was not only a renowned actor, but a man who would not hesitate to tell it like it is. During his decades-long Hollywood career, he had encountered countless personalities, some of whom inspired him, others of whom infuriated him. Although he revered many of his peers, there were a few whose actions, talent, or ego irked him. These are the 6 actors that James Coburn most candidly stated that he disliked the most. Yul Brynner. Yul Brynner was particularly notable to Coburn as a representation of style without substance. Coburn said, "Brynner was all image and no substance. He entered a room, and the only thing you sensed was the gravity of his ego, not his talent." Coburn was also disapproving of Brynner's use of charm and physical presence, claiming that he tended to dominate the material and his co-stars. He recalled instances on set where Brynner's dominating personality disrupted the collaborative environment, leaving less assertive actors struggling to find their space. For Coburn, Brynner exemplified Hollywood's obsession with spectacle over craft. Coburn's disdain wasn't purely professional. He found Brynner personally overbearing, describing him as someone who acted like the camera existed just for him. In an era that valued subtlety and sincerity, Brynner's theatricality paled in comparison to Coburn's own restraint. Marlon Brando. Coburn's problems with Marlon Brando were professional as well as personal. While he respected Brando's talent, Coburn believed that he too frequently depended on his reputation to justify erratic behavior. He said, "Brando could be a genius, yes, but to work with him was to dance on a tightrope. You never knew when the next ego-fueled fit would strike. Coburn most resented Brando's unpredictability and the feeling he was above the professionalism rules.